Good evening. Okay. Now myself, Dr. Rameshwar Rathod, Department of English, LBS College Satara. Today the academic lecture on the post-colonialism in Indian fiction, Aravind Adiga, The White Tiger. The White Tiger is the content to the Indian writing is comparable with those the vernacular language. Thus, in the recent time, the objective assessment of the work they utilize the discourse such as a colonial, the post-colonial, post-modern, modern, it way for the culture synthesis between the different countries. The Indian writer have been profoundly inspired by their interaction with the colonized countries. Literature brought there the realizations, humiliations, and oppression under the colonial rule. In the 20th century, has the voice their challenges position of the colonialist. It is a problem of the main principle of the post-coloniality, but also the post-colonial itself. Although the, although the post-colonialism, the several philosophy writing like postmodernism, structuralism, feminism, the culture of the post-colonial phase
हां, गेला असेल मी नाही तिकडे गेले.
and the European educations between the Western theory and colonizer reaction, appropriating to the location, history, race, community, their struggle by teaching to make their own lives to be the world. The White Tiger by Aravind Adiga. Aravind Adiga is a very famous story. It was published in 2008, the Man Booker Prize winning novel. The White Tiger may be identify the Indian the post-colonial novel. It is criticism to the development and
Excuse
growing
me,
the
sir.
political part.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Please,
yes.
in Marathi only just tell. So it will be help.
Okay, okay. Last 30 minutes your discussion to the Marathi.
Okay, okay.
Oh, okay, okay. Then the while Indian establishment to the blame thus having been the taken of the 30 central to be the bad. But then the Arvind Adega actually provide the strong image of the part of India, a poor masses, then make the 70% Indian populations the operation wealthy class continues dominate the societies isolation, surrender, existence, role of untouched subaltern, may have the unspoken to about the cause to helpless, the little place, the past in their society. The Odega attacks to the system of the economic system, moral and standard, rise and corruption in every part of Indian life by the slogans such as India. When the word passed, those the tragedy that novel to clearly attack to Indian development and growth of the story. But the White Tiger. White Tiger is a book about a man quest of freedom. Then, then the few day back, India is poor country. In the remarkable, the White Tiger is best the poor Indians, greedy Indians, leaders or the businessman. The Aravind Adiga, a leaders of Chennai, from to Oxfords, truly inspired the novel by his love the one luxurious existence. Adega is Indian is a global attention to litter, health and hygiene, food, education, resolve the extreme suffering, the massive, then the problems. In this novel, the post-colonial to represent in the different two side of India. Then class and secondly glorious city after the 1991 in the economical liberalizations. In my point of view, in the novel, in the White Tiger is to Baliram. The Balram Halwai narrated his life in a letter written in the 7 consecutive nights and addressed to the Chinese premier Wen Jiabo. In his letter, the Balram explained how he, the son of the rickshaw, and escaped the life of become the successful businessman, described himself as entrepreneur. Balram was born in the rural village in Gaya district in Bihar, where he lived his grandmother and parents, brother, extended family. He is very smart child, but is forced to leave the school order to help from cousin to the dowry and being the work in a tea shop with his brother Dhanbad. While his working being the learn about the government of Indian economy from the customer conversation, Balram described himself the bad servant but is a good listener. Decide to the become a driver. After leaving how to drive, Balram find a job driving Mr. Ashok, the son of Lakshmi Ghar, a landlord's. He takes over the job of the main driver from small car to heavy luxury describe the Honda City. He stopped to sending the money back his family. He disrespect his grandmother during a trip the back to village. Balram moves to Delhi and with Mr. Ashok and his wife Mr. Pinky Madam throughout their the time of Delhi. Balram exposed an extensive corruption, especially the government of India in Delhi. Contrast between the poor wealthy is made even the more evident their promulgately to the one and another. One night, a Pinky Madam takes a wheel from the Balram and while drunk, he hits something. The road drive away and readers left to he is killed a child. Those the clue. Ashok family puts a Brahman. Ashok family puts a pressure on Balram. Confess that. Now, by recording to the important event in the Balram life, author present the authentic pictures of the real India. Those depict to extreme side of India. First, the darkness and the light. The author, the focus of more of the subaltern rise from the darkness to the light. Those note to reflecting the double vision of our society. In my point is that in my mind, but describe the India, the hinterlands in which poor people try to make ends meet. Your narrator used to the generic term the darkness. And how do you come to that, Adiga? I wanted to something would provoke the anyone people. I was trying to the capture the gulf in the country. When I was Calcutta, I spent the night of people, the hand of rickshaw, people from the Bombay, people from the Calcutta. Those hand rickshaw drive is Muslim from the Bihar. I asked, why do you do this? And why don't work in the field? Even to the better than the one pointed to said, uh, one pointed to said that where some things is that to the dark place and better to point it. Then Mr. Ashok in the novel, Balram looks different from children and he had grown in his home, the environment, the Lakshmi Ghar. We stand a rural India throughout the novel. He is reflecting to the white tiger, which a symbolized power of the East Asian culture. It stand a symbol from the freedom in the individualities. The white tiger can never the slave, it only be the master, existence, power and beauty. The white tiger can never the power, the freedom, right time, beauty. Balram is nothing to the financial problem. Those the news to mindset. The poor children in his school, later the trap to the darkness, the poor mask to carry out the small. Balram becomes the white tiger, and life when is the tiger in the zoo, and in his a moment, while identify with the cage, the tiger. The tiger was hypnotomizing the himself, walking to identify the could or tolerant the cage. In the my view of in the novel by the Balram related a story from 7 liter written to a Chinese premier Wen Jiabo 7 nights but never posted. In the future, man and the yellow man, brown man, white man, mobile phone uses, and the drug abuse. The shining India, rapid growth, a field of science and technology, pace, real estate, information technology, expensive, and cities, multi metro cities, companies, multinational companies, successful entrepreneurship skill. You, China, Chinese, every respect don't have the entrepreneurships. Thousand and thousand of them, especially field of the technology and those the entrepreneurs. We entrepreneur have take the outsourcing companies run in the America now. When they speak of brightness, the metropolitan cities, he focus side of the India. The metropolitan cities are darker than the crimes like the murder, manipulations, corruption, department justify part to path to the success. Here Balram Halwai makes a prediction in the 20 years times it just the yellow man, brown man at the top of the pyramids. I will rule the whole words. Ashok feels the same about the future in India. Things have changed much India. There are many more things I could do here in the New York. The changing in India, the place to be going to the back of America in 10 years. In Adiga novel, quite a harsh realities depict in his novel, pick the politicians, entrepreneurs, also play the role of king marks and involving to the massive riches and expensive the common man making the marginalized. In the India that Arvind Adiga parent consider the landlords describe the animal devoting everything commons find the subjecting and exploiting the poor. He gives rich a landlord's name the buffalo, stock, wild boar, and raven is animal names in the novel. Wildboar, his brother, owned the rich agriculture land around the Lakshmi Ghar, and we filled the daily labors working on the daily wages. The, the raven who owned the vast dry land sequence, uh, they will take the hills and one other hand to the buffalo. Greatest all does in the rickshaw. He collect the commission from using the road tax, enjoy the full support of regional political parties. They are the stakeholder in the commission. The author parents the expensive situation from the region and spread the Naxalism and exploited the youth of truth the become the victimized hands the police and the fight between the and Naxal and landlords who had their own private animals. The social equality and equal opportunity. Everyone steal the unfilled the dreams by shining India. Those India law, the emphasis there is no caste, no class, no discriminations in India. The caste system continues to measure feature defining the person and then the and social condition throughout the people appear to to the stock of similar and politician. The old driver asked to the Balram, "What is caste are you?" Also Asked in the similar question, mean the Mr. Halwai, what is caste? Is that top or bottom? A Muslim hide his identity by calling the himself the Ram Prasad, and to get a job as a servant in stock house he has know the landlords does not like a Muslims. He even goes to extent asking the grandson who is whose passion to the cricket and call himself Mr. Muhammadin Azruddin, the former Indian captain. Call yourself Sunil Gavaskar, Azruddin as a Muslim. Most of parents do not accept intercaste marriage. Children to extreme the step of killing the name of the family honor. That is by Marathi movies, very famous movies by Nagraj Manjule's Sairat. And then he is very famous movies in the Andhra Pradesh. Recently, the father is upper caste. Dalit son, the murder, delight. He had to unforgiving offense, marrying the daughter against his he will. In the novel, the conflict between the gap by educated, capitalist, illiterate, problem, subaltern, in all facing in the novel, in this novel by Adiga is a different image in India. India is light and India is dark. But his focus on later part, he attacked to cooperate, gain to the rural in the country, control the political leader and government office according to the general public, making the country by shining India. IT boom, employment, educated youth increase, the per income growth, improvement, financial status, reality, public category, and other things is that in the novel is in the my presentation is last it concludes in today. A few minorities Indian a struggle making their both ends. In the surprising a story are thus the protest explanation operation in his class as typical voice of the colonized. His struggle, the age and frustration, involvement, criminal activities, society, drinking, opportunity, even goes to killing to the master in his to the last. And then after two is the problem in the Aravind Adiga's novel by the post-colonial landscape work become a path of decolonizing the mind of the changing the economical standards, former colonial power, narrative, instrument of the social using the reader from the fabric modern India. They only we can hope see India is truly shining at least in near future. Until then remain only words but not in action. Arvind Adega, the country claimed